tuning in to the Aaron Alexander Experience Podcast.
All right, wow. This one's been a long time coming. Alpha Chad, what's his lighting like? Because he looks dark to me even right now. He looks fine? Okay, cool. All right, man, what to even say about this next guest here? I mean, tell him your name first off. Let's start there.
My name's Vic.
Oh, you got to talk into that mic.
Hey, my name is Vic.
Vic the Dick, they call him.
Yeah, Vic the Dick.
Vic the fucking Dick. Dude, you got to keep that mic up.
All right, we got it.
You're going to have to keep that mic up.
Mic
You
is
gotta
up
talk
and
into it.
on.
All
We're
right,
winging
dude.
this. We're
all
not
right,
out
all right.
coming.
So you want to do senior game.
Senior game.
You want me to put out like a senior game manifesto course.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Older guys need it more than anybody.
More than anybody. I agree with that. You have been married before.
That's right.
Okay. And so now you're hitting the field.
That's right. Hitting the field hard.
Okay. So before we get this podcast going, I think just to kind of give the guests a good look at kind of who you are, I would love it if you would play your COVID ballad.
Oh, the COVID ballad. All right, well, we're going to do this for you because I was locked down for 90 days, and you should never turn a guy loose on the street after 90 days being locked down. So I wrote a song about it called Quarantini on My Weenie, and I hope you like it. Well, quarantini on my weenie. Hey, baby, come and hunker down with me. And together, we can beat this virus. And someday, baby, we can both be free. Because I've been alone for so long now. I think we both learned how to milk a cow. And our supplies are running short. But one thing that I know for sure, I'm quarantining on my weenie. That's right. Hey, baby, come and hunker down with me. And together, we can beat this virus. And someday, mama, we can both be free. I'm living single, baby, all alone. We gotta talk using our cell phones. You better get here, darling, get here quick. I'll send you pictures of my big quarantine. Yeah. On my weenie. Woo! Hey, baby, come and hunker down with me. Hunker down with me. And together, we can beat this virus. And someday, baby, we can both be free. Oh, yes. Come on, baby, come inside. Oh, we'll hang out until this virus dies. Come on now, darling. Don't be scared. No mask or panties, baby. I don't care. Quarantine. Yes, on my weenie. Oh, yeah. Hey, baby, won't you hunker down with me? Hunker down with me. And together, we can beat this virus. And someday, baby, we can both be free. Quarantine with me. Well, hunker down with me. Hunker down with me.
Yeah. Woo! Everybody, big round of applause. Vic the Dick. Hell yeah. That was great, man. That was really good.
That
when
has
you played it
potential.
earlier, it has potential.
Everybody will sing along with that
That
someday.
has potential.
Yes,
Yeah, we might make that an isolated clip and just put it here on the. It could go viral.
Oh, that would be really tragic to get known for that song. It's a little bit like the Billy Ray Cyrus virus because he got stuck having to play the achy breaky heart in the tunes of millions of dollars, but he was totally so sick of the song.
He was that guy,
And
right?
he was
The
totally
achy
sick.
breaky heart guy.
That's right.
He goes out with a new album, trying to put forth his new music, and they're like, achy breaky heart. Play the
Exactly. He had
song."
some very personal songs that meant more to him, but yet he was stuck
Yeah.
having to do the achy breaky heart over and over.
Yeah, I think that happens to a lot of artists. I definitely think it does. I remember I went and saw, you don't know who this is, but Childish Gambino. You know
I've
that
heard the name, but I'm
heard
not
the name.
familiar.
Yeah, I went and saw him, and he did this thing where it was like kind of an intentional slap to the face of like the people that were there just to see his old bangers. He had a new album out, and he played just the new album straight through, right? And it was kind of like, fuck y'all that are here to see me play Camp and these older songs.
Exactly.
Right? So you are, I mean, one of the more interesting human beings I've ever met.
Hey, that's what I like to be, is just somebody stand out and different. You can't be like everybody else.
Yeah, you're one of the more interesting human beings I've ever met. You believe in the game to the same level that I do.
Yes.
It's your religion.
Yeah. You gotta
have that mic
You
pointed.
gotta have a system to believe in, and there's nothing wrong with believing that you have the right to meet anybody you want to meet and carry on an intelligent conversation with anybody.
Yeah.
And especially the girl that you choose to talk to. There's nothing wrong with making friends. There's nothing wrong with making girlfriends. There's nothing wrong with the game. That's what happens in seduction all over the world, from religion right on down to the bar scene. You know what I'm saying?
It is. It's like the Pope and then some kid at the bar. They're like the same kind of. They're kind of doing the same level of
That's
persuasion and seduction.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
It is, yeah. And so why do you think that motherfuckers are so like, you've had situations, I've had situations where the girls are just so like, oh my God, I've seen him coming up to girls on the street before. This is what he does. Why are they so fucking prude about it?
Well, it's because they think that they're being violated and manipulated, and because they got self-conscious issues.
Yeah.
That, they think that everybody is out to use and abuse and hurt and harm, which really it's a hang-up that they have.
Yeah.
And
right.
and when you meet a real human being that really wants to go out and engage people in life, you'll find out that you can separate those relatively quick. And it's a good thing they do say no to you. It's a good thing they do shut you down. You don't want that person in your life anyway.
So there's a very good chance that if you didn't exist, I would not be where I am right now doing this podcast.
Isn't that funny?
And this is really true. This is true.
Yeah, the story is.
If you didn't exist, I probably would not be here doing Evolution Daily right now.
Because Jared might not have came along.
So his son, your son Jared,
Yes.
is really what I think I needed in my life when I started game to succeed in game.
Exactly.
Truly. I started out when I was 22 and a half. 6 months in, I get a girlfriend. Then I start doing stand-up comedy, okay? Start doing stand-up, and Jared is a comedian. He comes on the scene, and he's very polarizing. He was insane. Did you ever go see him do stand-up?
No, I saw his videos. I didn't go see him.
Jared would just get on the stage and like do his rant videos, but on the stage.
Yes.
So you'd have these dorky, fat, nerd comedians in Columbus. They're all pretentious, dumb little fucks, most of them. They find so much pride and joy in the fact that like they don't try to make it famous, right? They're just fat alcoholics that are always going to be at the local little bar. And they're little shitheads. And Jared, and so you'd have some guy up there with some shit jokes, just thinking he's funny and like, and the same thing about this movie in the 80s and girls today is that. And then Jared would get up there and scream about why you're gay for sucking e-cigs like dicks. He'd be up there screaming like probably racial shit, just funny stuff. You're going to buy your child a scooter? Do you want him to be gay? That's what you're doing when you buy your son a scooter. Dude, and the crowds would be horrified.
Yeah.
But also, he was fucking hilarious. The people that were horrified were the loser people anyway. They're like, well, this is so obscene. It was the fucking coolest people loved Jared, And so then what happens is all of a sudden I start talking to Jared a lot, talking to him a good amount. I start showing up to these open mics without my girlfriend because I was bringing her around. And he says, hey man, what happened to that blonde girl that you used to like be around with? And I said, oh, that was my girlfriend. We broke up. He said, interesting. I'm reading this book called The Game right now. And I go, wait, really? He's like, yeah, I want to start, you know about it? I'm like, yeah. He's like, I want to start doing it. I said, bro, I did it for 6 months, super hard a couple years ago. That was how I met that girl, because she was a night game cold approach.
Yes.
And so he's like, dude, I've been looking for somebody. And I'm like, let's do it. So we get out there, and overall, Jared just has no fear. Fearless. Completely fucking fearless out in the field.
Yes.
And that was so good for me because I did have a lot of fear. Just the conditioning. My girl knew I met her through cold approach. She knew about pickup and game and all that because I told her about it. And she would just kind of even shame it, bring it up a little bit here and there. So I get back out there and I'm not myself anymore. I'd lost a piece of me. Jared helped me to find that. And he would make me do horrible things. I mean,
He blamed you.
he would make me do horrible things. But what I mean by horrible is what I actually mean is incredible things. So I'll never forget him making me talk to the makeup girls at Macy's, the girls that work the makeup counters and shit. And I'm out there having crazy approach anxiety. And he's like, just fucking do it. Don't be a pussy. Don't be a pussy. And I'm like, fuck. And I go up, hey, how's it going? But then what happens is when you do that shit, you prove to yourself it's not that bad. No. But you need the push. This is why I'm such a big fan of coaching. It's because you need that fucking push to then be shown, oh, it wasn't even that bad. It was actually awesome. And then on top of that, so that's day game shit. Then Jared and I would go out to night game. And dude, he's insane. We would be out on these dance floors at 10 p.m. when there's not a soul out there. Jared would get out there and start doing this pounding dance and headbanging and sweating. And then him and I, not once, not twice, but on 20 different occasions, 30 different occasions, we were the first people on the dance floor that started the party at clubs. No bullshit whatsoever. We would be the first, and then maybe just some fat girls, or maybe some good-looking girls, or maybe a couple would come dance next to us. People would swarm to us. We were the party. And I would never have done that shit on my own. I was really following.
Create a bonfire.
Yes, we created the bonfire. We created the spider web of fun and energy. And he was just so fucking good at it. He was really good at that. So if you wouldn't have fornicated and created Jared so many years back, I don't know if I would have made it through that most difficult part, which is the beginning. It was like a fucking rapid momentum right out of the gate.
And that's why you're sitting here today with your business.
Yes.
Pickup.
100%. I really believe that. And what's been cool about you is over the years, like I said, do you view this shit so, as much as I do?
I got a little story about it.
You fucking love the game and pickup. You're the one that got Jared into it, all of this. So go ahead. What's your story?
Well, you see, when Jared was having some problems with his driver's license and drinking and stuff that was really dragging him down, he realized he could not get socially calibrated without alcohol. He could not go out and meet girls or meet people in general for being backward because he had this affliction with alcohol. So I recommended, one day I read the book, The Game, and I studied it for a while, and I said, Jared, maybe you ought to try pickup artistry, because number one, pickup artistry will help you to grow. You'll have some self-improvement and personal growth. It will teach you to read the right materials to grow in the direction you want to grow. It'll help give you something to talk about. It'll get you out of your shell. And then when you go out to the club, you'll have some ammunition that will keep you from having to depend on the crutch of alcohol, especially if alcohol is your problem. And if it's not your problem, I recommend keep drinking it. But if it is your problem, pickup artistry is a good way to overcome these fears and still allow you to be out with what the rest of the world is doing. Because so many people go to AA and some crazy distances like that, and what happens is they get stuck in that rut. And then they have a social problem still, even with AA, because they can't do anything but function with people of that particular fellowship. And I don't think you need to have that particular type of ball and chain. I think you need to still be out with the people that are drinking, the people that are having fun at night, past midnight, And pickup artistry gave him the chance to break out of his shell. He got sober. He was able to meet the women that he wanted to meet, and the girlfriend that he has now, he met through pickup. And he went on and got his education because he didn't want to go down this path. He wanted to improve his education. So he went finance and he went mathematics, and he's doing a terrific job in college. He graduates in December with high accolades in finance. And that's a little bit of the story that got him in pickup, and that's kind of a protege.
Dude, he pushed me so hard because he was also not just. We started doing day game because we loved night game so much. And at that age, I viewed day game as it was for weirdos.
We're going back 6-7 years ago.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I thought, I'll do day game when I'm old and can't go to clubs anymore. Then Jared and I would just talk about game all fucking day long until we could go out at night. And we were like, dude, we need to do this day game shit. We need to go to stores. We need to hit the streets. Yes. And then what we would do is we would sit there and take turns back and forth on my porch reading paragraphs of The Art of Seduction by Robert Greene. We would read out loud and like take notes. It was like a Bible study for The Art of Seduction.
And he uses that on me.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, which is cold.
Well, The Art of Seduction.
The thing is that what really irritates me is it works.
Dude, we can't roast Jared on this, but no, dude, and he is so fucking smart. And what was interesting too was that he wasn't right where you guys are from, the crew he was running with before, some of the trouble he had got into. Mm-hmm. His path now as like a fucking collegiate scholar. And I've seen him post his shit, straight A's and all these crazy calculus, like whatever the fuck he does. I mean, he wasn't destined, maybe he was, but he definitely wasn't on that path. And I think pickup helped him, just like it did me, just like it did so many people and does. It is usually a great gateway drug into being your fucking highest self.
That's right.
It's a great gateway drug. It was why I was able to get sober, stay sober for 4.5 years.
Yes.
It made me, something I've been talking about, and you might find this interesting, is in pickup, in the world that we operate in, there's so much talk of like spirituality and self-love and all this kind of stuff and like meditate on self-love and blah, blah, blah. Dude, fucking a bunch of girls is a great way to learn self-love.
I agree.
And you're not supposed to say that. It's supposed to be like, pickup, you're just drowning out some sad emotions and like you're trying to fucking cover something up. Or maybe it's really good for a man to really focus all of his intention on fucking girls and having girls be like, feeling what it's like to have a girl be like, oh my God, you fucked me so good. Fuck me, daddy. Like, dude, that can make you self-love because you see the way that another person can love you in that moment. And afterwards, especially if they're like, you're hanging out with them and you're both laughing and having a great time. So I think that's fucking pretty powerful and overlooked in a lot of ways.
Yes. That's a human response. Everybody should want to have some multiple partners in their life. Nobody wants to settle down with the very first girl they meet because that's the problem. And the reason they do that is because of fear of loss. They're afraid of losing the only girl that has ever shown them any attention. So they limit themselves to growing in a positive direction. There's nothing wrong with having multiple people in your life, whether it's sexual or whether it's just plain friendship. These are all positive things. Human beings need this.
I want to hear about a really bad approach. I want to hear about a time where you did an approach, because I've heard some from you over the years. He just fucking calls me. You just call me out of the fucking blue, and you'll be like, Aaron, I saw your last video. Is it true you're quitting the game? And I'm like, if you would have watched for another 30 seconds, you would see him not quitting the fucking game. But you called me over the years, and I always answer. Most of the time I answer, I text back. But it's because I love your passion for the game. Mm-hmm. You do it. You go out and do cold approaches. So tell me about one that was kind of bad. Like not a great response from a girl.
So, I'm at a gas station. I love gas station game. She's pumping gas. And I said something, hey.
Just point it a little more.
Hey, are you a fitness freak? Because I love the way your pants fit. And she looked at me and she says, you're old and disgusting, and I think I'll vomit in my mouth. I said, do you have any friends? Anyway, but the greatest thing about that is I realized that probably was a little off the hook and out of center field. But however, it got me charged up for the next approach. And the next approach went much better.
Yeah.
I got a number. And as a matter of fact, she was interested in me in a very short period of time, but it didn't go anywhere. But that's the game. That's
Yeah.
why you go out and talk to numerous amounts of people, and eventually somebody decides that you're worthy to hang out with.
I had a bad one once, man. I think you'll get a kick out of this. I had one where I was on a boot camp in Boston, and me and my student are talking to these two girls at the mall, okay? And I'm vibing with this girl, okay? I sit down on this little thing. Her and her sister are standing up, so this girl's kind of like above me now. But we're just talking, and we're really vibing. And we're talking about diets. And I tell her I'm doing the carnivore diet right now, and I'm like, it's just the same as keto. She goes, oh, yeah, keto diet. She's like, I like doing that. I love doing it. She goes, you know what really helps me is I carry around a bag of carrots so that way I have something to munch on all day. And I go, and I think she's cool, right? And I go, I'd like to munch on you all day.
I like it. She should have had a laugh out of that. All you got to do is make the girl laugh, and she didn't laugh.
Oh no. But that's funny. That's comedy, right? Come on. We're having a good, and it wasn't my opener, right? I didn't go up.
Not bad.
I didn't go up to some girl and say, hey, I want to munch on you. I mean, we had talked. We had about 3 to 4 minutes of rapport.
Terrific.
Dude, she literally just raises her hand to me like this, is holding her hand and shaking. And she's like, are you fucking serious? She's like literally about to slap me. And I'm like, what? She's like, that was so incredibly offensive and in front of my sister. And I said, your sister didn't hear it? And she goes, yeah, I did. So then she's literally shaking and looking like she's gonna hit me. I'm just bracing my face, getting ready for a slap, and then they just like dart off. I assume now they're going to like tell security or something.
Yes.
So I'm like, hey, we gotta get out of this mall. So me and my student go like booking it out of the mall. I mean,
I love that.
Look, and you know what? Here's the thing. This podcast, so this podcast, I mean, eventually this is going to be a massive international podcast, very similar to Joe Rogan Experience. Yeah. Somebody might come back to this clip one day and be like, look what he said to girls. Fuck off to everybody. Like, dude, we live in a funny fucking culture. I'm a comedian first, a pickup coach second.
Thank you.
I mean, come on. This is fucking comedy. And dude, girls have said and done horrible things to me, and it's funny. I don't care. I look back at the girl at 4th Street that literally just looked me dead in the eyes and fucking took her water cup, poured it on my fucking head.
You're not a pickup artist unless you've had water doused in your face and had the security guards called on you.
Oh yeah. Well, this one ended up going really well. Because you know what was funny, dude? She's drunk and does this, right? And now she's like kind of making a scene about it and trying to like tell guys that I like fucked with her or something. And I didn't do anything wrong at all. And so I go up to a security guard sober and I'm drenched. And I go, hey, how's your night, man? And he's like, good. What's up with you? And I'm like, look, bro, I just want to tell you something. I know you deal with a lot of drunk people. I'm completely sober. I'm just sitting here having a good time. That girl over there, I'm leveling with him, right?
Yeah.
Because drunk people would come up, that bitch over there. So I'm just telling him, like, I'm completely sober. Dude, I was just trying to talk to that girl a little bit. She just poured a whole thing of water. It's looking like she's trying to rile people up to like beat me up or something. Could you just like get her out of here? He's like, that one there? And he's like, yeah. I go, yeah. Dude, he just fucking goes up with his guy, grabs that girl, and they fucking escort her out.
Terrific. That's a win. That is a win.
Oh, and there's a little fence outside of the bar that I'm talking about. And dude, she is just screaming at me from outside of the fence. And I'm just pretending that I have no clue that she's even there. And then every once in a while, because now we're talking to other girls now at this point. Me and my wings, like we don't give a fuck anymore. It's funny. I'm telling them that this happened. And every once in a while, I'll see the girl like still like staring at me, and I'll just like flip her off from outside, and she'll start going crazy again. It was awesome.
Hey, that's an experience worth remembering.
Yeah, man. And it's like,
you stood up for yourself.
Yeah, in a very calm way, for sure. And it's just, these are the experiences that you're going to have. Did you have one time? Didn't you? Okay, so there's a park that you go to every once in a while. Wasn't there one time where like a girl hated that you talked to her at the park, or it went really well? One or the other.
Well, no, she was
you
jogging.
Called me about an approach. Yeah.
She was jogging, and I said, girl, you got it going on. Keep it up, keep it up. And she turned around and she said, what did you just say to me? You're old enough to be my grandpa. Yeah. She said, and then a guy came up in another car, and she said, he is saying things to me. She said, he is saying things to me, and I don't appreciate it. Well, the guy got out of the car, and he said, well, apparently she's not having it. I said, well, all I did was compliment the fact that she was very fitness oriented, and she was getting a good run in, and I was complimenting the girl just overall, but yet she took it completely to the sexual brink. Remember one thing, is these girls are far more sexual in the mind than you ever think you ever were. Everything you say as a man to a woman is completely pornographic in her mind. So I'm telling you, most women are more creepy and weird in their darkest moments than you could ever dream of being. So don't take it personally when these women make some pornographic scenario out of you just saying hi. So that's one thing we've learned.
I was on a date with a girl that was, I had met her. This was when I just started doing online because of COVID. I was on a date with this girl, pretty shy girl, right? But really cute. But anytime I would even suggest anything sexually, she was kind of like, she would turn back from it, you know, all that kind of stuff. We get to like really talk, and this is after we fuck. So we've now had sex, and this shy little girl, right, on like our second date, I say to her, I go, how often do you watch porn? And she goes, oh my God, you know, she's just so like getting red almost, right? And I'm I'm just wondering. She's like, not that often. And I say, what do you watch when you watch porn? She's like, oh my God. She's like, no one's ever asked me that. And
girl on girl, guaranteed.
Nope. I go, but that is common. I've heard that one a lot for sure. Oh, I got another great story about girl on girl porn. So I say. So she says, like, not that often, whatever. And I go, what kind? She's like, no one's ever asked me that, whatever. And I was like, just tell me. It'll be like our little secret. She's like, are you serious? She's like, you're going to judge me. And she's warming herself up to tell me. And she's like, okay, you won't judge me? And I'm like, no, I'm fucking disgusting. Like, I'm a freak. What do you mean judge you?
Thank you.
She's like, double penetration. And I'm like, yes.
Oh my gosh.
I'm like, yes. That's so awesome, because this is the type of girl that every guy would think, this girl's different, right?
Yes.
Oh, Aaron, I hear all the things you say about getting sexual, whatever, but trust me, this one's different. No, she's not. She's a fucking freak. They're all little freaks.
I got a story.
Hell yeah. Go ahead.
I got a statement to make in between this. Remember, the word is arousal. Until a woman is aroused, she is a conservative, judgmental. She's anti-sexual until she's aroused. But once she's aroused, then she turns complete freak most of the time.
Wow, I love that. That's a
So
valuable
that's
tip.
the thing. Until they are aroused and aroused by you, you can expect them to be really short-tempered, quick-witted about how pornographic you possibly could be. And they can't wait to judge the guy that says hi to them.
And dude, I mean, come on. This is why fucking Cold Approach. And I have an online dating course. We were just talking about it. Panty Soaking Text. You guys should pick it up. It's great for meeting girls online. But I've been very open about the fact that the only reason I'm using online game is because I can't be out here going crazy at night game like I normally do. So arousal is way more difficult through online or texting than it is in person.
Exactly.
In person, you fucking even just like get close enough to a girl, tone, eye contact, all that. You can create the arousal that now allows the sexual energy to start flowing.
Yes. In person is where this stuff really happens.
Yep. Yeah,
But
absolutely.
people are very quickly offended if they're not interested in you and the wrong text and the wrong word comes out. Because remember, women have more of a pornographic mindset than you do.
It's the difference between a girl walking down the street and a construction worker going, look at that fucking ass. I mean, that's now harassment. I mean, that's fucked up. Versus her boyfriend or guys he's fucking coming in being like, look at that fucking ass and smacking her. Now it's hot because she's aroused by that person. So that's a really valid point. That's interesting to think about.
Yes.
I had a girl, I met her out at a bar once. And she comes over, and she had initiated like some dirty talk with me, okay? And now I always teach guys, this is super important for everybody at home. Let's scoot slightly over this way. So, okay, yeah, stay there. So very important for everybody at home. I do not dirty talk with girls until we've had sex.
Exactly.
I do not, because it's a trap. And my buddy Jason warned me about this.
Exactly.
It's a
Thank you.
fucking trap. Like, if a girl on Tinder starts getting all fucking dirty with you and stuff, and you, as a guy, you're like, well, this is what she wants, so let me give... So you're like, yeah, you're going to suck my fucking cock so good, you little slut, whatever. Dude, they get off on all that. For you, it's just the build-up, and now you really want to fuck. They actually start to lose that sexual tension. It breaks the sexual tension.
And then they get offended. They get offended on purpose.
So this girl who I met out at the bar one time, she starts dirty talking me, and I'm still in a phase where I'm younger. I'm a little bit young, like 3 years ago. I'm still like dirty talking back. We're having all this dirty talk. She comes over, and she is just not. I try escalating several times, and she does not want to fuck. I just keep trying. And then I just start thinking, like, I feel like this girl's a little freak. She's got a septum piercing, pierced nips, tattoos all over, dirty talking before, and she's just not into it anymore. And again, 3 years ago or so, I don't remember exactly what the thought process was that led me up to this, but I started talking about porn again. And I'm just like, what kind of porn do you watch, whatever. And I'm like, do you have a favorite porn star? She's like, no, I don't know anybody. I go, mine's Janice Griffith. And she's like, let me see her. And dude, instead of a photo, I just have already bookmarked on my phone because I loved this video. I have this like Janice Griffith with some other girl, like hot ass porn, them fucking eating each other out and shit. And I'm like, here, this is her. Dude, the girl she's just like kind of goes quiet and keeps watching it. And we're both just sitting there watching it now. While we're watching it, she like takes my phone so she can turn it. And while we're watching it, I kind of start playing with her hair and shit. Dude, 3 minutes in, 3 minutes in, I'm like getting a boner now and shit. She just reaches over, grabs my dick, and we just fucking go to town.
That's a good story.
From the porn that aroused her enough to now get sexual, I think, right?
The word arousal is very important, man.
Yeah.
There can't be a more important word in the human dictionary than arousal.
Arousal is the number one word.
You better get that arousal or you're getting nothing.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
A wet pussy is like a limp dick. A dry pussy is like
a dry pussy is like
yeah.
Yeah, man. It's and so that's a big problem too, is a lot of guys, they don't have like a fuckable energy. Yeah. I feel like if you meet some girl at the gas station, she knows like Vic's gonna fuck me.
Yes, that's the problem that they have with me. I had a girl down at the other gas station. She introduced me to another girl, and what she said about me? I'm sexual. And I said, that's the best compliment that anybody's ever given me while introducing me to somebody else. Most of the time, don't forget to follow up with a perverted creep. So, he's sexual perverted creep. Come on, give me all of it.
So have you ever seen any of these videos that I do with like, I have like this spiritual lady that I work with. Her name is Hadia.
Yes.
And then I'm going to be having like this other, hopefully a couple other girls that are spiritual coaches and stuff that are going to be on the podcast.
Yeah.
Here's what's funny about that whole world of all those people. They're super like in touch with the universe and all this stuff, whatever. Dude, they are the most sexual and awesome fucking people. It's the dummies. It's like the unattached, dumb people that are like, oh, well, I do say that is inappropriate behavior. You know what I'm saying? It's like people have come to my seminars in LA where Hadia's there, and people have come up to me multiple times and been like, don't you feel weird saying all this in front of Hadia? I'm like, no, she's fucking awesome, right? It's always, so this is a point I'm trying to make here, is that guys that are in game, and maybe you've fallen victim to this as well, I don't know, but what'll happen is we'll end up judging our self-worth and who we are off of the opinions of the dumbest people.
Don't we? Don't we do that?
Like people that, dude, if it's a bad bitch, a really cool girl, like a really good, cool person at the club, and you say like, cool, well, it's been good talking. Do you just want to get out of here? She's going to be like, oh, even if she's rejecting you, right? She's going to be like, oh, well, I'll have to see, let me talk to my friends about that. She'll reject you in kind of like a funny way. Whereas the dumbest girls, and there's dumb guys out there too, this isn't about women, right? The dumbest girls are the ones that are going to be like, oh my, we just met. Like, they're just so closed off internally, externally, in every way. Have you experienced that at all?
Absolutely. It's the dumbest people that bother us the worst.
Why do you think men need game? You're passionate about this.
because we need to be smart enough to say the right thing to promote the right conversation in order to promote some sort of relationship that builds arousal. We can't do that without the knowledge of the people that have learned this before. And as you keep cultivating your game and your plan, you can go out at night and you can say the right thing to the right girl and get the right results.
Yeah. So how long have you been divorced now? How long has it been?
3 years.
Oh, really? Mm-hmm. Oh, shit. I thought it was longer than that. How long have you been sober?
I've been sober 11 years, not a drop of alcohol.
Wow, that's crazy. How bad were you before, alcohol-wise?
It's just every time I drank, it was a bad situation.
So you weren't drinking every night and all of that.
And that really causes your tolerance to not be on power. And if your tolerance isn't on power, the least little bit of alcohol affects you the most maximum way. So, it just caused a lot of trouble with my life in general and with my ability to make it to work and a lot of demoralization that I couldn't get over. It's the demoralization that bad blackout drunks cost you that really makes you want to change. And
wow.
That's the big word in my vocabulary.
Demoralization. Yeah. So what? You would kind of come out of these and you'd be like feeling shame and shit. Kind of like, what happened? What did I do? Oh, I did something dumb.
Yeah, it's wondering what you did, knowing that you were not in control enough to have the mental capacity to remember your actions, and finding yourself, always apologizing to people. At least what I do now, I do it on a sober head, and I remember what it was. And I still act drunk sometimes. But when I go out at night, I really do want to be part of the group. I don't have to stand aside and sit back and stare at people and gawk at people. The main thing is when you walk into these venues is to if you come in by yourself, you've got to go to a group and start talking to people. You can't sit back and gawk at girls. You've got to go talk to them. The 3-second rule. I can do that now sober. Couldn't do that, could not do that in the beginning of being sober. It's something I had to learn. It's something I had to challenge myself with constantly is do not sit back with your arms crossed and gawk at people.
Yeah. I fucking pull into the parking lot. You got here before me. You're over here talking to some girl that just moved in. You're talking to this guy that has seen my videos and shit. Like, you're just over here talking to people.
Always talk to everybody. It's not like you're hitting on the dude, but talk to him anyway. The fact that you're corresponding with him gives you the practice and the vocabulary to possibly segue off to somebody else and go talk to them. So always use everybody as somewhat of a pawn, but yet in a friendly way, because the friendship didn't hurt you anyway. Talking to him did you more good. Talk to the big, fat, ugly girl in the corner.
Oh, yeah.
Talk to her. Practice on her. Don't tell her you're practicing, for God's sake.
Yeah.
I said that to a beautiful girl once. I said, I hit on ugly women for practice, and she better be pretty when you say this to her. She will laugh. She knows she's not ugly.
Yeah.
Women know when they're beautiful. Trust me.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So you were talking. Yeah, it was funny because you went and talked to that kid because you saw him doing pull-ups from the tree.
Tree limb. Yes, tree limb.
And then what did you tell him that you were here to do a podcast?
I told him I was here
because he's seen my videos. I met him on the street the other day.
Exactly. It was a great interaction.
Yeah.
And a beautiful blonde came out of the apartment, and I opened her and talked to her.
What did you say when she came out of the apartment? What did you say to her?
I said, "Hello, how you doing?" I said, "This is my friend Jay. Do you know him?" I didn't know him for 5 minutes. So what I did is I tried to fix him up. Remember, you'd be better off to go out into the club tonight and try to fix the other guy up. Be the wing for a perfect stranger. He will love you for it, and then you can actually ricochet off of what happens next. Next thing you know, you're cool. You fix that girl up with him. She's happy. He's happy. Next thing you know, they're fixing you up with somebody else.
Dude, bro, you are fucking speaking to my soul right now. I'll tell you why. I've realized that I've made a grave mistake over the years. I put myself in a position where for the last 4 years, I've pretty much put every friendship outside of pickup on the back burner. Because why bother? Like, if I'm not going to go out and game with this guy, why do I fucking want to be your friend, right? And then what's happened is a lot of those guys have, like, fallen off. They're not into the game anymore, or they move, or, like, one way or another. And so what I'm trying to do now is I'm kind of trying to get like a good circle together of normal guys. And I got some great guys to go out and party with sometimes now. I'm starting to build it, but I realize a grave mistake that I made was every girl that comes into my life, I try to fuck them. And I have a few regulars right now. About 5 girls that I could consistently, get over to like fuck at least once, twice, whatever, a week type thing. And so I'm thinking about sticking to just them for like 3 months and then trying to get this circle going and not trying to fuck any of the girls. Because how do you get a table full of girls at like a fun Sunday brunch is you don't try to fuck each of them.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So what you're talking about, even like being out at the club, being social, and like, dude, what do you think of that fucking blonde girl over there? You don't got a girlfriend, right? Whatever. And then, trying to hook them up, merging like these crews, and then fucking having an event and inviting people and just having fun.
That's right.
But I try to fuck too much, and it works. I fuck a lot, but I have a lot of like one-way lines, right? I have a lot of 2-point lines. Me and this girl, 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 and I want a web. I think I really want a web now. I'm ready for web game.
That's great. Web game. Have a social circle of beautiful women in your life
Yep.
that just want to hang out. Sex happens. That's what boys and girls do.
Yeah.
It will happen just through osmosis. So if you can get several girls together and have them your friend, they wing off on you, you wing off on them. Next thing you know, your bonfire grows.
Yep.
That's the life
Yeah.
that I would like to have. I don't have that life now. That's what I'm saying.
A bonfire is a better way to put it, because a bonfire, you're saying, you grow this fire and then people kind of migrate to the fire.
Yeah.
Spider web is fucked up because you're saying that you create a web and then like they fly in and get trapped in the web. A spider web.
Oh my God.
A bonfire
That's
is
a creepy term.
a bonfire is definitely a way better term for that. Yeah. So for you, when's the last time you did a straight up cold approach?
Well, that was kind of what that was out there today. But I hit on him first.
Right.
It wasn't a sexual thing. I just knew that the guy was into fitness and that I could talk to him.
Okay. What did you say to him?
I said, I saw that tree limb. I wanted to know if I could borrow it. And I go over there with my guitar.
Yeah.
I said, I'm like a freak on the street. Probably they think I'm probably a homeless bum. Didn't matter. I was just complimenting on his fitness routine.
Some kid yesterday day gamed me.
Really?
Some kid day gamed me yesterday.
Okay.
I saw this kid. No offense if you're watching. You got to work on your fashion. You're a cool guy. Okay. Dorky looking kid. Right? I see him. And actually, when I see him from a distance, I even think I can like spot PUAs, dude.
Yes, you can.
It's like in daytime even.
It's like
it's
I
like
can
the
spot a
pace they're
stripper.
walking. They don't look like they need to be anywhere. It's specific outfits. It's looks. It's kind of like a lack of knowing anything about fashion. It's like some things. And in the far, far distance, I think, oh, that kid looks like a PUA. I have my these sunglasses on, okay? I see him in the distance, and he can't see my eyes. But I see him start to recognize me. I see him start to, I see his facial features, looking at me and then recognizing me. He walks by, he goes, excuse me, are you from here? And I go, yeah, I am. He goes, do you know if there's a general store, a corner store around here? And I go, yeah, man, UDF right over there. And I'm waiting for him to admit that he knows me. And he goes, okay, thanks. But he was really shaky and nervous. So I think he wanted to, but then he bailed. So, bro, if you ever see me again, just tell me what's up. But
Where's
this kid
Where's
for
the
sure
Starbucks?
was day gaming me intentionally, probably with the intention of being dude, I watch your vids, and then maybe he just was a little nervous, and that's okay. We're all of us that got into this.
Yeah.
It's because we're not fucking naturals with women.
Yeah.
It's because we're not natural socially. We struggle, right? And that's why too I'm not harsh on people in general for being kind of awkward and stuff like that, right? You have to have empathy for your fellow man.
Yeah, everybody is not the alpha, beautiful looking dude that can sit at the bar stool and the girls come to him. Mm-hmm. There are those. Gage, for instance, that Jared runs around with.
Yeah.
He is that handsome. Mm-hmm. But he is still socially awkward. He's not part of the game, and he blows a lot of opportunities because he's got a lot of issues.
He's a great skateboarder.
And he is incredibly handsome.
He's a good-looking guy.
Yes, he is.
Yeah.
He is definitely Hollywood handsome.
Yeah, you think he could make it in Hollywood?
He is Hollywood handsome, and he's very good talker, especially after he's had a little bit of alcohol. He's off the chain.
What's his life like with girls? Does he have a girlfriend?
He
Does
has a special one. Yeah.
Okay.
And it's always a problem.
Has he ever? It's like drama.
Yeah.
A lot of times. Yeah. Has he ever throughout the years of being friends with Jared, because he was friends with Jared before Jared even got into the game, has he ever gamed with Jared? Have they ever? Because when I went out with Jared all the time, Gage was there. I remember one time, but we was mostly just us standing around, and I don't think he was into it. But did he ever go out and like do cold approach with Jared?
I think he did.
Okay.
Yes. But I don't think he, like I said, he is of a different caliber than the rest of us. Not that he's a natural, but he's just outstanding looking, so he gets a pretty warm response. I still go out and I'm his wing at the grocery store just the other day.
Oh.
I got him a phone number that he was afraid to get. I said, "Isn't he handsome?" She stood and waited on him to pull out his phone and grab her phone number.
Yeah.
She actually stopped dead in her tracks, and he had several drinks, so he was,
At the grocery store?
before he went in.
Oh, okay.
I said, "Don't you want to get her number?" And she stood there and waited on him to fumble for his phone and get her phone number. I said, "Gage, is that really you, or are you just playing with me?"
That's awesome.
He said, "You were awesome," and he complimented me on my ability to get him to talk to her. It was great.
That's awesome. It's even with all this talk about social circle game and all of this, I mean, it's definitely something I want to migrate more towards and more into. But at the same time, cold approach is fucking king in so many ways. Because guess what, dude? Guess what? I moved to Miami. I go on a vacation. I go on a boot camp. I go somewhere. My social circle ain't there.
No, you
I don't
start all over again from
like,
scratch.
what the fuck? And not only that, but also, how do you even start the social circle? Everybody I know right now is through cold approach. Every girl I know is through cold approach. Every guy I know is because we have some sort of a connection through cold approach in some way. And it's just the best feeling knowing that you are in total control of your social life.
Yes.
That that you can just go fucking make friends and meet girls. It's fucking profound. And something I recommend to a lot of guys all the time is I say, if you don't have any female friends in your life, because a lot of guys don't. A lot of guys have no clue how to even be normal with a girl. I tell them, I'm like, do cold approach and then just tell girls you want to be friends.
Yes.
Just fucking do that.
Be non-outcome dependent. Mm-hmm. You've got to build a group of people you can count on. Friendships. You have to start there. I've failed in that a lot of times, but now at the position I'm in life and my age and everything, there's nothing wrong with me wanting to be friends with a younger girl. Mm-hmm. I don't feel as though I have to bang Betty Crocker. That's right, Betty Crocker.
That's like an old bitch.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
I mean,
got
it's
it.
great that she can cook and everything, but a lot of people don't think that I have the right to meet a younger woman. I mean, much younger, in the 20s something. I know it sounds creepy and it sounds weird, but I have the right to have friends that are 20 and 25.
It does not sound creepy or weird. Let's talk old guy game. Is that what you call it? Senior game.
Senior game.
Senior game. Let's talk senior game.
Yeah.
So you're right. A lot of people think that that's creepy, that you want to be friends with younger girls. Have you heard me talk about masculine life energy in any of my vids and stuff? So to me, this is what I've realized, okay? With people I know from high school, from even through game, guys that when I met them, maybe they were like 30, now they're like 35 and whatever. So what I've established and realized over the years is that there's life energy and there's death energy, okay? These are the two extremes. Life energy is in its purest manifestation, it's children on a playground, okay? So think about kids on a playground. They run around, they go, hey, I'm Billy. Hey, I'm Vic. You want to throw rocks at the thing? Yeah, let's throw rocks. Bah. Everyone's just running around talking and stuff, right? You're sprinting, you fall to the ground, you bounce back up right away. You're not injured. You're just life. It's just you're learning, you're new. Every day is like a new experience. Yes. Death energy is literally being on your fucking deathbed and dying, essentially, right? So your life, you can look at these two polar extremes and figure out which extreme am I closer to on a daily basis. Is that red light bothering you?
No.
Here, move it a little bit. Here, let me just move it slightly. Move it. I don't know how it got all the way over there. Did you fuck with it?
Probably did. I've been rolling around this chair.
Okay, it's okay. So looking at your life and figuring out which extreme am I closer to, being on my deathbed or being like that little kid on the playground, right? And so, dude, so for me, I look at all these different ways that a man in particular, I coach men, so I'm not concerned with like women's life energy, I guess. But for men, it's like, I'm 30 now, okay? Guys that are 30 plus, 40 plus, 50 plus, whatever. I mean, what better for your health as a human being than to surround yourself with younger, vibrant people and feed off of that energy?
Exactly. That's a goal of mine.
Yeah. So meeting these younger girls, and even if you're not trying to fuck them, like you said, even just, I'm sure some of these girls, if you cold approached them and they said, I'll be your friend, but I have a boyfriend, you would just go on a stroll through the park.
Yeah.
At night?
Actually,
at night with one of these girls into the woods or something?
I've learned how to combat that. Like I told you when I walked in here.
Oh, tell them that. Tell them that. It's a great line.
Yeah, it's when you talk to them and I say, is there any masculine dude in your life right now? And she says, yes, I'm married. I said, the pressure's off. Now we can be friends.
Mm-hmm. I love that.
Now we can do something normal.
I love
I'm
that.
glad I got to know you. Next thing you know, they're talking to you like, hey, you're harmless now. Mm-hmm. You know, you've actually disarmed any pornographic image she might have of your approach. So, yeah, I think that will work.
And, man, dude, I'm just like, I just have so much I want to say all the time. But I'll stick to this one thing here. I've had so many girls now where I game them. And then I get to the end of the interaction, and they say, I do have a boyfriend. Even if I said earlier, like, you're cute. I thought you were cute, wanted to say what's up, right? Mm-hmm. Even if I go direct, I'll get to the end, and they'll say, I have a boyfriend. And they go, but, like, this really made my day. Thank you. Or they'll say, but thank you for complimenting me and stuff.
Yes.
It's just, I had a girl, I had it in an old infield that was on the channel, and I still put it up because it's a great interaction. And then it ends with her literally telling me, like, you know, thank you for like coming up to me like this. You know, I've been, because I said like, how long you been with the guy? She goes, it's been like 6 years. She goes, it feels good to just, I don't know, like still feel desired. And I'm like, well, you're still fucking hot. And she's like, well, thank you so much.
They need that.
So the world and even guys in game, they view it as like we're trying to take. Right? Like guys that get toxic mindset in the game, it's like we're out here trying to like take, and this all feels weird and crazy and fucking because I'm trying to take. We're not taking anything. You're giving an opportunity to a girl.
That's what you have to feel.
Dude, and it's fucking true. It's not even that you just have to feel it. It's like knowing the truth, which is you're giving an opportunity. And the girls that are so horrified, I'm just so upset that you came up and talked to me like that. Like, they're a dumb girl. It's a dumb person.
They live to be approached. Women love to be approached, especially by somebody that has something intelligent enough to say that makes them stop and listen. They live for this. How would you like to be a beautiful, outstanding woman and go out in your day and no man even glanced at you? Mm-hmm. Do you realize how their ego would be suppressed? They live for their ego of being beautiful, and they need that ego constantly pumped up because probably the man they have in their life isn't doing it regularly. So that is, you are giving to these people that you are talking to.
It's giving, yeah. And then you know what? You meet that girl at Kroger, bring her home, you know, smash out. I mean, then it's a good situation for everybody. She got some good dick. You know, you got to, you know, put a new little notch on your notebook, you know, I mean, a little tally mark on the notebook, and everybody wins. It's a good.
Ego is important, but it has to be kept in check.
Ego's important. You know what? And they say, not they, this dude Aubrey Marcus. I don't know if you know who he is. You should follow some of his stuff. He's cool. He says there's nothing wrong with ego. He's like, there's nothing wrong with your knee. But what is wrong is when your knee is inflamed. And when your ego is inflamed.
Good comparison.
Right? They say,
good analogy.
You're living your ego, your fucking ego. I have really turned my back on so much of the world around pickup lately. Even Alpha Chad here, who just walked in the door. Alpha Chad, you made a great video the other day on, here, come make a cameo. You made a great video the other day on spiritual shit because you're so deep into that world, and you made a great video on like where it goes wrong. Give like the quick 30-second summary on that.
Yeah, so with that whole spirituality going wrong thing, a lot of guys just get so obsessed with these ideas of spirituality that you never actually like just go and get the things you want. You know, and the video was about personal boundaries. It was just this idea that like people don't take a stand for the things they want. Like they just let the universe walk all over them because they're so open to any experience. When you get, you know, more spiritual, you stop, you just have no resistance to anything. But, you know, at what point do you draw the line? Because you can have no resistance to everything. And then now you're just getting fucked left and right. And it's just like, well, when do you just take a stand for yourself as a spiritual person? They're very soft people. So, you know, there's a little bit of that where you have to stand up for yourself.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, that's awesome. And so what's been happening with me lately is like I've just been getting so disillusioned by this kind of this melting pot now that has become, because you're not in all these groups, you're not in the world the way I am in pickup. Scoot forward just a little bit, you're gonna kill my cat palms. So you're killing my damn cat palms, Vic. But dude, it's like become this melting pot of, you know, we're all here to heal childhood trauma in order to actually attract women. And then it's just all this personal development and all this bullshit. And you know what it becomes? It becomes exactly what he just said, which is that you just start doing spirituality in these things to do them. And you lose sight of the fact, and this is a tightrope. I say there's tightropes in game. You lose sight of the fact that this is all supposed to be for your worldly enjoyment. It's the same with guys that go out and do game, but they're not even thinking about fucking girls. Guys always ask, like, what's a great big piece of advice, one of the biggest pieces of advice? I say, first off, talk to a lot of women, and when you talk to them, I want you to literally picture you fucking bending that girl over your bed and fucking the shit out of her with her hair in your hand. Picture that, and then watch the way the interactions change. Because you can't hide that. When that's what you're thinking, you can't hide it. It comes out in the subcommunications. So it's like, let's not lose sight of the fact that we're meditating and doing spirituality and doing personal development and all this to enjoy a world full of hot women and money and fucking enjoyment and overall just being happy and loving life. And so I've been so like against personal development lately. It's been crazy because I just see it I see so many people being such little fucking nerds about it that I'm just like, no, let me kind of bring this back home and tell everybody like, hey, no, let's fucking focus on results here. Let's really focus on what we're trying to do here. Yeah. Exactly. You know? I mean, yeah. So what happened to that Colombian girl you were fucking? We're going to wrap up here soon. We'll wrap up here in a little bit. What happened to the Colombian girl you were fucking?
Well, there were some issues involved. Of course, she probably had a whole book full of phone numbers. See, you're always one phone scroll away from your replacement. This is true because every beautiful woman has a whole phone full of dudes. Trust me on that. So, you know, you got to wait your turn, and then you find yourself waiting your turn to get in the fold, and it's just, you know, you got to move on and keep right on game and talk to other girls because you can't count on her. And lots of times women just use you as a chump. They show up when they want to at their liberty, and that gets old too if that's the way they're going to treat you. And of course, I'm at the age where I have to just bear with it and wait my turn, and I refuse to do that. So I go back out and talk to some more girls and move on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Holding on to these types of girls too.
Yeah.
You know, when I've had some where even the girl that I was talking to you about before we got on here, that I don't want to bring up too many details, but you know what I'm talking about? Right. Man, when she really cut me off, when she cut me off, you know, a while back now, almost a year, it was so hard. And I was like, just trying to hold on so much. Just like, maybe she's going to change her mind. Let me try to say and do a few things that are going to maybe change her mind, you know, this and that. You're never going to change the mind of a woman. Never.
They've got so many options. Remember, women have so many options. So you're in the back seat of that.
And so then what you do is now you're a boat and you're dragging around all these anchors. You're dragging around all these anchors, and the more that you can like fully just like let them go, and now you can move full speed ahead into the next women and the next girls in your life that you're going to be able to meet and go out and meet. And you know, maybe you're even going to not approach as much because you think, oh, well, that one might come around. No. You're a fucking loner now. You're a lone wolf in the world. If these girls aren't blowing you up to see you, if they're not fuck yes, then it should be no from you. If they're not like dying to see you, right? Exactly. I'm not ever begging some fucking girl to come over.
Isn't it great to be single? Isn't it great to have the freedom?
Oh, man.
I mean, you know, it can be confusing because you want this and you want that. But do you have the discipline really to take care of a relationship? Most of us, We want a relationship, but we don't know how to nurture one when we get it. So
I was like, dude, I was just like, for so long, and I've talked about this on the podcast, but I told you too, I had that one girl that was around for like years recently, and it was so toxic on my end, not on her end. I always give that caveat. She was a great girl, but she wanted a boyfriend out of me, and I wanted to keep being a player and kind of treat her like a rotation girl. And we both would kind of cave here and there on each other's preference, and then a huge fight would break out, and we'd cave to the other side, and it was just not good for either of us until we finally did cut things off. And it's been hard. It has been hard, but I feel so much more in alignment with like my true desires, my true goals, who I am as a man. So this was an amazing podcast.
should I end
Vic
this
the
with a
Dick,
song?
I was just going to ask you to end this with a song. Give us something ridiculous.
This is ridiculous, and I think everybody has been in the situation where they saw somebody at work that they were attracted to. Nobody has ever worked in an environment where it's co-ed that there wasn't somebody that you wished you could hook up with.
Oh, yeah.
And this is a song called Getting Laid, Getting Paid on the Boss's Dime.
I'm in love with her hair, I'm in love with her ass, I'm in love with her body. Don't care what she says, don't care who she does, long as she's my Barbie doll. Hedonistically, lustfully, this woman got the best of me on my mind. Destructive kind, makes me stupid, makes me blind. Getting laid, getting paid on the boss's dime. Happens in the workplace all the time. Well, we fell in love on the assembly line back when she was just a friend of mine. One night working overtime, got laid, got paid on the boss's dime. One night in the janitorial room, on the top of my buckets on a pile of brooms in the bathroom stall. Couple of times got laid, got paid on the boss's dime. Here it goes. Getting laid, getting paid on the boss's dime. Went to work, we had a real good time. My woman loved me, I'm mighty fine. Got laid, got paid on the boss's dime. There's more, but I'll spare you that.
There we go. That's awesome. Thanks for doing the show, man. Hey, guys, for all of you out there, check out Panty Soaking Text. I'm adding to the course. Actually, by the time you see this, I will have just added some more breakdowns to it. You gotta jump on this fucking course, man. You're getting a call. You're getting a call. Is it Jared? Oh, damn it. Guys, pantysoakingtext.com. Sign up for that shit. And if you're listening on iTunes, leave us a 5-star review. It really, really helps. Can you mute this shit? What the fuck, man? No, I'm kidding. It's all good. 5-star review on iTunes, please, on the podcast app. It helps to rank. I'm noticing that we're getting more listens per episode now, and I think it's because I'm getting more and more reviews on there. So the more you do that, the more that this message gets to be exposed to the world, and it's a great free way for you to help out the podcast at Evolution Daily. So pantysoakingtext.com. Go sign up for that shit, and make sure you leave us a 5-star review. Peace.